and welcome back to Lantern Corp. Today's Lantern Corp comes to us from Shamari Glass, who asked the question, what is the Lantern Corp of, and I always have trouble actually pronouncing this guy's name, Ken Kaneki? I don't actually know how to pronounce the name, but he's the main protagonist from Tokyo Ghoul. That is an anime and manga that I did not read or watch, but I was aware of it when it was as popular as it was, and I remember some of it, and I do remember the fact that this guy was very unique in terms of protagonists. He basically kind of had a separate personality due to the fact that he was bitten by a ghoul, and therefore he was half ghoul. And when that extra personality came out, he became very vicious and hungry and dangerous. And then as the series progressed, he became more and more like the dangerous, it's like almost psychotic, greedy, power-hungry character. And then apparently, looking up kind of his emotional state, he did eventually settle out and kind of accept things for what they were and learn to be okay with his life. So, the question is, what the hell Lantern Corp does a character like this belong in? Well, there are definitely options here. Happiness isn't one of them. He has not been happy his whole life. Very obviously hasn't been. So I can't really say happiness works. I also can't say life works because this fucker has eaten and killed a lot of individuals. So yeah, I mean, he might be trying to end up enjoying his life in the end, but I can't really justify that one. Neither can I justify hope, because for a while there was a lot of bleak going on in his world, and he kind of just, while he tried to hold on to hope, it did not work out for a while. I also don't think black surprisingly would work. Now, he's not dead, nor has he died. He doesn't worship death. He may have caused a lot of death, but that's neither here nor there. Let's actually move into some that I think he would qualify for. Again, boring answer as always, but the Will Lantern Corps I think is right near the top of the list. You have to be able to have not just great willpower, but the ability to overcome great fear. And yeah, it took a lot of will and strength to get over the ghoul half of him. It took even more to overcome the fear of his ghoul side and then embrace it. So that would definitely be an option, certainly, and might be the best option for him by the end of the series, because he's at a place where he's been through all this and he kind of came out he came out the other side. So so this might be where he ends up at the end of the series. This might be the one we finally settle on for the overall series. But if we're looking at him at any point in time in the series, well, then you have a couple other options. I think for a while, greed was definitely an Lantern Corp for him. He definitely became power hungry, voracious, just wanting to consume and gain more strength. So I think that is definitely an option that could have been available to him earlier on in the series, and through midway through the series, it could have worked. But I don't know if that would have been his end-all be-all Lantern Corp. Most likely, it wouldn't have. I don't know. Nothing he did was really out of love for anyone, apart from like just self-preservation, maybe protecting people. But ultimately, that love was just not a motivator of him. What was a motivator for a while definitely was rage, too. There was definitely anger in this guy, especially after being tortured for God knows how long, and then wanting to get revenge. I can definitely see rage fueling his actions for a good long while. We can't also forget the old favorite Lantern Corp of fear, because he became extremely terrifying after a while. And yeah, when people saw him, he scared the crap out of them, and even against other ghouls, he was frightening. So that would definitely qualify. I do not see him though being a Lantern of Compassion, and it's not what you might think. He does have compassion, even I think at his most power hungry, he still had compassion. But I think compassion I think because he does have some level of compassion, it doesn't work. You either need to be devoid of it or have it be your dominant trait. So I just don't see compassion working for him. And maybe at some points in the series where he was near completely gone, but even then there was some minor compassion still in there. And then last but not least, the Lantern Corp of shame, the ultraviolet lanterns. This one is a weird one because he definitely felt shame for the shit he was doing for a while. So I think this would have certainly worked during especially his early years in the series or early days in the series where, sorry, my phone just got notificated. Early days in the series where he was, still struggling to deal with this and ultimately not, and not being able to handle it very well. So the question then becomes, which one of these would be his dominant trait? Well, again, like I said, most likely it would probably end up being the Lantern Corp of Will. And whoops, I went too far with the shame there. There we go. And there I am. But it would probably be Will. And the reason for that is he didn't end up the series being very greedy. He actually was very accepting of his position in the world and humanity's position. He no longer seemed to carry a lot of anger in him. He could still be scary. I mean, he might still be scary, but I don't know if I would say if he would still qualify. And I don't know if he still felt shame for what he was doing. So I would say that, yeah, Will probably makes the most sense for him by the end of the series. The most likely candidate during this series, though, if it's not Will, would most likely be Fear. But I think a strong argument could actually be made for Avarice as well. I think because he was definitely greedy in consuming energy, consuming individuals, and power hungry and all that. So, yeah, that'd be my take on that, though. Will's probably the one he ends up with at the end of the series. But during the series, he's probably either Fear or he is, think words here, or he's Avarice. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.